stretch, no nothing. Just get her. Oh, hi. Oh, hello. I'm probably gonna get hot as fuck right away in this sweatshirt, but we're not doing any single track or we're just gonna go ride. There's this road up here. Road up here. Road up here that runs quite a ways. And I think we're just gonna take this for a ways. The suspension feels, holy cow, plush. Feels nice. Get warmed up a little bit, comfortable again. Last time I rode a couple of weeks ago at a race out here, my 400, first desert race. Oh yeah, that engine braking. Need to put more fuel in that decel table. First desert race. And oh man, I'm hooked. I loved it. This suspension is so plush, smooth. Makes the stock stuff on my KTM like, ugh, harsh. I think I'm going to have a heck of a lot of fun on this bike. I've gone back and forth on like a 790, 690, or like 701. And I like the idea of a 790 for a little more comfort on slab. But honestly, like, I've never really ridden on the street except bootlegging. And I just, in the foreseeable future, especially with the boys, as young as they are, I just don't see any long runs on pavement. You know, when I envisioned what I wanted to do, it was like ride from my house to down here and go bang around the desert, or run up to McCall, or run up to Stanley. And not so much like attack, like gnarly single track, but I wanted to be able to get in where I needed to go if it came up, and I wanted something lighter to kind of break me into, you know, the quote-unquote big bike world. Yeah, I don't know about these mooses. We'll see. Wow, the suspension is just smooth. Oh, there it hit a little bit. Oh, it just flopped a little bit. But yeah, so I looked into these bikes. Looked into these bikes, I don't know, a year ago. And I was like, oh, that's a little more than what kind of what I was thinking. And you know, I don't know, I thought they were freaking sweet. But then after the last few months of getting serious about wanting to get a light adventure bike and wanting to be able to do Thank you. able to do more just longer trips. Like I've explored a ton of Idaho in the Land Cruiser, and I want to do more on two wheels. So like I said, I looked at some of the bigger stuff, and I'm like, and then I don't know what bit. I think I was like ready to jump in the shower a few weeks ago, and I was like, oh, I'll just see on Cycle Trader if there's anything local or, you know, in the US used. Wow, the suspension, I love it. Anything used. And so I live in just outside of Boise in Caldwell, basically the same thing. And so jumped on Cycle Trader. I was literally like naked, getting ready to jump in the shower. I'm like, hey, I'll just take a look. And this bike pops up in Seattle. And I'm like, no way. So I couldn't get the email thing to work, so I was gonna kick him an email. And Kyle, if you ever see this, I contacted you and I was naked, buddy. No homo. But so I couldn't get the email thing to work, so I hunted him down on Facebook, and he actually had an ad out on Facebook. And I contacted him through there, and we chatted for a bit. And you know, you buy stuff. You know, it was a hike to go out there. I made an adventure out of it. Visited a buddy up in Spokane, and just made a couple days out of it. But anyway, yeah, so we went back and forth. God, the suspension is bomb. And so we went back and forth. Just walked a little. God, this thing's so light too. It feels that way anyway. Let's see what I have for here. Oh, I love it. I fucking love it. Anyway, yeah, so we went back and forth a bit, and it was honestly one of those like, oh man, this sounds way too good to be true. Because the price had come down a bit too compared to the Cycle Trader ad. So after chatting with previous owner off and on for a couple of days, and everything seemed legit, I had to wait for a couple financial things to align, and so you feel the weight when you I mean, I went from like 2 strokes my whole life to my 400 recently this past summer, and it took a little bit. I like the stability, like banging through rocks and stuff. Yeah, I see that engine braking, it just kills all fuel. Different boots today. I haven't worn these boots. These are like when I got back into riding as an adult some time ago. I'm not in the mood for this silky stuff today, to be completely honest. I just kind of want to cruise. And out here, it just jumps up on you. And on these main like roads, about these, the front end feels so kind of mushy sometimes. Anyway, so these boots, when I got back into riding as an adult, like, oh, I don't know, 8 years ago or something, I picked up these cheap Mooses, and they've got like the what they call it, like the enduro sole, right? They're a little bit softer boot. They've got the tread pattern. Well, I noticed, I started racing enduros in Minnesota, and I noticed when I'd get towards the end, I was so freaking tired that I couldn't lift my legs very well, right? You're gonna do exhaust there was a couple of times that I would fucking fall over, because my foot would, the lugs in the boot would get stuck on the lugs in the peg, and I was just tired, right? And then I crammed a stick through the side of one of them, and I just retired them, but I held on to them because I was like, oh, let me have a spare pair of boots. And honestly, they're a little bit softer, so they're easy to walk around in. They're like, oh, hey, these might actually work out pretty well for adventure crap for a while. You know, just cruising. Anyway. So I don't know how far I'm going to take this. I've been down this road a couple of times in my truck. When I first moved out here to Idaho, like 5 years ago, I was like, I'm going to go play in the desert on the bike. I had a KTM 200, like perfect woods weapon. It was an 04 chassis, so it was a 125 chassis. So the thing was like a mountain bike with a motor strapped to it. Out here, it was good up in the mountains, but out in the desert, man, that thing was squirrely. There's no weight to it. The thing would just deflect off everything. But anyway, I was like, oh, looking at maps, didn't know the area. I was like, oh, there's this cool trailhead up here that looks like there's a high concentration of single track. But there's a gravel road that you got to take to get there. I was like, all right, cool. So I had a Jeep at the time with a hitch carrier, and I took it this way. These guys are doing. I took this thing. It's like 8 miles or something. I got a couple hunters. And it was just gnarly. It took me like an hour to go this far. These guys aren't even paying attention. Not even a little bit. Just being dumb. Yeah, there's somebody behind you. And I got a couple of muleys, it looked like. And so I take this trail, this Jeep trail. I'm like, man, this is sketchy. The bike's just rocking all over the place. And well, I realized when I left, I got done riding, first time in the desert. I get done riding, and I'm like, hey, look, there's pavement right on the other side. And you can get to this trailhead via pavement. I was like, yeah, I feel dumb. But that was kind of how I learned about this cut across. If you want to add a little bit of mileage or stick around and 4x, or it's working out great right now for me on this thing. So I believe it's up here just a little ways. Actually, no, it's a ways up. Sweatshirt. It would have been chilly. See, on this stuff. And I'm wearing like summer moto pants, and I can feel all the chilly air. We got a bunch of rain the last couple of days. It's supposed to rain all weekend too. I just kind of timed it nice. Where there's a little bit of moisture in the ground now. No dust. It's so sweet. The new gear for playing on this thing. I'm a little warmer. Up this way. Oh yeah, it's cold. Damn. Put the old grip heaters on here soon. See, this is that trailhead right behind us. So this is that slab, and this runs up to Silver City. The seat's comfy too. We might run this up a little ways.